I am a creator, and the people behind this video are also creators who I respect. I like their work, I'm not criticizing them as people, just that this video here is bad.
This video here is bad. Hello and welcome to what I call a new video. Today we are going to be talking about how Spiff does not understand the YouTube algorithm. Reminder, I am not attacking Spiff, the individual person, personage, whatever. Don't go into his comment section and complain about it. I already have. I simply want to clear up some misunderstandings that Spiff obviously has. But I don't want to take the words out of his mouth, I'm going to simply play them for you. So what is this whole video about? Well, it talks about the downward spiral of viewerships that a lot of channels have been facing as of recent. However, there are many things this video fails to mention and fails to take into account because the video was probably made with a preconceived notion in mind. That preconceived notion, of course, being...
So, what do we have to blame instead? Yes, welcome to the great rug pull of this episode, where I reveal that you, the viewer, were the villain all along.
This conclusion is very stupid. But firstly, we are going to go through the video chronologically and actually talk about stuff. The first topic brought up is the restricted mode in YouTube, and I agree with Spiff. That's definitely not the issue. However, I have a different reason to agree with him. See, Spiff has the reason of this.
It's been a part of YouTube since probably before you started using the platform. It's a feature that exists to restrict potentially mature content from being shown. Its sole purpose is so that places like schools and libraries can have access to YouTube without the fear that a child is watching a GTA 5 Let's Play, because the game is technically for adults. It's not perfect, there's definitely a lot of videos that slip through the cracks, but it's a good enough change to make a very big platform slightly safer for kids. In 2017, restricted mode accounted for a mere 1.5% of views on the platform, and I honestly expect this number to be even lower now, as it's really not a popular feature.
While that is true, there are new developments on that area. For example, very recently YouTube started using AI to suspect a viewer's age, and the going theory was for a moment that if you are detected to be a minor, restricted mode will be turned on by default. Now, we still haven't gotten confirmation that that isn't the case outside of this tweet. But as Spiff says himself,
we can't hold it against the creators, and you definitely shouldn't go and be mean to them. After all, when they made their complaints and YouTube responded, they didn't listen. This is because they don't trust YouTube and any public source that comes from them because, well, they're an inconsistent mega corporation. They tell you you're getting a human review, and let's be real, it probably isn't.
YouTube is not to be trusted. However, I don't think that is the case, because there is a very simple piece of evidence that goes against this theory. So what is engagement? Imagine yourself a video. You are currently on your homepage and see a video. That is an impression. Simply having a video right in front of you counts as one impression. And if you click that video, that is a successful impression. Now imagine that video on a macro scale, meaning that this video will be shown to hundreds of thousands of people. Then, let's say, a few thousand people decide to click on it. Now, based on the amount of times the video has been shown and the amount of times the video has been clicked, the YouTube will give you a impression click-through rate, which we are going to call the IRC. Once the video has been clicked though, you will obviously start the video. And once the video has been clicked, there are way more ways to engage with a video. When on the actual video screen, you have engagement via watch time, likes and dislikes, comments, and hype. Think of these as additive. One comment is 1 point, one like or dislike is another point, and one hype is another point. Then the amount of time watched, also known as the average view duration, will also give you points measuring, how far you've watched the video through. With a nice little bow on it, based on the impression click-through rate. That is the average engagement of a video. Meaning that engagement on a video is a combination between the impression click-through rate, likes, comments, and watch time, and of course hype, blah. This is what we as YouTubers know as engagement. So why did I just explain all of this? Well, that is because engagement stays the exact same, but views are down. If you do not believe me, here's testimony by Mr. Samuel Streamer on a random Rimworld video.
When I was made aware of this, I looked into it. The view counts have dropped, I would say roughly by about a quarter to a third. Maybe I'm just putting up terrible content. However, the likes have remained exactly the same, and I'm talking within like 1% variation, but the views have dropped.
He doesn't even know he's testifying. I'm just putting him out here. This is a consistent piece of testimony I have seen across all of the affected channels. The engagement rate is the exact same as it was before. However, for some unknown reason, the amount of views has gone drastically down. And one would think this is some sort of change to how views are calculated. However, the Spiffing Brit actually has an answer to that.
Another thing I've seen blamed is that YouTube has changed the way views are tracked. The idea being that creators are getting the same amount of real views, but perhaps the botted or duplicated views of previous videos have been removed. This was actually a very strong talking point of the Linus Tech Tips videos, and they're not without good reason. These changes do happen with YouTube, and in fact we recently had one with Shorts changing to fit the TikTok approach to counting a view as seeing a single mere frame of a video, but it only affects Shorts and not normal videos. It's a change to display, not to the actual algorithm. I also know that no change has been made to the YouTube view counting and verification in the period that these creators are discussing. This confirmation comes from multiple sources that work at YouTube who know far more about this than anyone else on the planet.
His answer is no, based on his connections and YouTube. So then it must be an algorithmic change. Because if the engagement rate is the exact same, then something else must have changed. And as we all know, Spiffing Brit says it's the audience, which is wrong. Simple audience habits does not in fact explain why every single channel is down so much, when the engagement rate is literally the exact same as before. The engagement rate is what the audience actively participates in, while views are just something you subconsciously do. YouTube is simply sending out less impressions and therefore people are getting less views. The amount of engagement is still the exact same, meaning that it has to be an algorithmic change. And that's not up for debate. What is up for debate is what specifically is causing this. And if you're saying you're just mad because you don't get enough impressions, that's wrong. I am one of the few people that has been benefiting from whatever change this is. I have hit 1 out of 10 after 1 out of 10 after 1 out of 10. However, watching Spiffing Brit's video made me realize that there is a lot of misinformation going around and I definitely need to correct it, because if I don't, I will go insane. So we have literal evidence that as something must have changed in the algorithm. I have gained views ever since the change in the algorithm, which apparently didn't happen because audience changed. Views are objectively down. My views are objectively up. Engagement is objectively the same. What I think actually happened is a small tweak in the YouTube algorithm. And this small tweak, because of the nature of algorithms, of them being built upon each other, built upon itself and being very fickle with whatever change you make to it, this simple change somehow caused this to happen. It wasn't a conscious decision on YouTube's part to fuck over a lot of creators. It simply happened because that's how YouTube's algorithm works. Maybe it's not even an active change that anyone has done to the algorithm. Maybe it's a bug in the system that just kinda ticked over one day. But we certainly can't sit here and claim that nothing is happening, because it's obviously happening. On an unrelated note, I'm one of the few people that actively makes YouTube videos and actively watches YouTube. And I have, since around that time, realized that the YouTube recommendation system is really bad now. Yeah, something certainly changed, because the YouTube recommendation system has gone really bad. I have complained about it on Twitter even. To me it seems like the YouTube algorithm is now focused on hyperfixations of sort. Here's a bit of an example. I see a video of Cody Rhodes, and then I watch that video all the way through. I tend to watch all videos all the way through. That's just my viewing habit. Abandoning videos midway through is simply not how I watch videos. But then, because I did watch all this video, then YouTube thinks, oh, this guy must be the biggest Cody Rhodes fan of all time and will generate 1,000 Cody Rhodes videos right after another, so I have literally no choice but to watch more Cody Rhodes videos. YouTube's algorithm before that would have sprinkled in a few Cody Rhodes videos while also sprinkling in some other content, so that I still have the executive choice as to what to watch. The old YouTube algorithm would sprinkle in, I don't know, a Hulk Hogan video, still on the same thing, but something different from that same topic. But then it would also do a shoot in the dark. For example, let's say an old video that I watched previously from Killian Experience or someone is also in there because nostalgia bait. Then here's a new video from a creator with like 200 views. Wanna see it? You can now. And that's how the YouTube algorithm was laid out. Until, for some reason in September, it really just likes sending me the same thing over and over again. Which I think is the main issue here. I think the main issue is that YouTube's algorithm has become obsessed with hyperfixations for some reason. which for me has helped because I am talking about literally nothing but Undertale and Deltarune, which is a really good way of getting autistic people to hyperfixate on my content. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna get cancelled for that one, but I don't care. That's how it works. That's my going theory at least. I can be wrong, and I have the dignity to say that, unlike some people. I am no expert on it, neither is he. But that's simply what I observed, and he's certainly wrong. The evidence talks against him, and that's it. That's the video. Congratulations. Now, if you are a member, a YouTube member of mine, and you are confused as to why you didn't get early access to this video, that is because I just watched the video and I'm really mad about it, and therefore wanted to get this video out as soon as possible. I hope you can forgive me. In exchange, I will give you a sneak peek to the next video coming, I don't know, tomorrow probably? I don't know yet. Anyways, my fit goes absolutely goddamn hard. Cue the clown!